Hi guys, this is Bade Shaik. You are watching Lexjuris. In this particular vlog, we're gonna know about Consumer Protection Act and who is consumer, when it was came into force, and what is the use of this act to us. Because we are the consumers, we are buying many more things from outside, but here the point is we should know our rights. This is our motto, and this is what this lecture is, guys. Please like and hit like button, subscribe our channel. Thanks, guys.
In our lives, we buy various items for consumption on daily basis. These can be for the sustenance of our livelihoods, creating self-employment, or enjoying luxuries. In the words of John F. Kennedy, consumer by definition includes all of us. Every person is a consumer through one way or another. Therefore, with being a consumer, there are certain rights given, and these rights need to be governed and protected. In India, the statute administering the rights of a consumer is the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Who is a consumer? We understand in layman's terms that anyone who purchases and uses goods is a consumer. However, there is a legal definition of the word consumer. Section 2 of 7 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019 says, consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment, and includes any user of such goods other than the person who buys such goods for consideration paid or promised or partly paid or partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment, when such use is made with the approval of such person, but does not include a person who obtains such goods for resale or for any commercial purpose, or hires or avails of any service for a consideration which has been paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment, and includes any beneficiary of such service other than the person who hires or avails of the services for consideration paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment, when such services are availed of with the approval of the first mentioned person, but does not include a person who avails of such service for any commercial purpose. It can be summarized that a consumer under Indian law is any person who obtains goods and services for a consideration, or any person who uses these goods and services with the approval of the buyer, who does not resell these goods or use them for commercial purposes. Explanation for the purposes of this clause. The expression commercial purpose does not include use by a person of goods bought and used by him exclusively for the purpose of earning his livelihood by means of self-employment. The expressions buys and goods and hires or avails any services includes offline or online transactions through electronic means, or by teleshopping or direct selling or multi-level marketing. There are two kinds of consumers: consumer of goods, consumer of services. Person who obtains goods and services for a consideration. Any person who obtains goods or services for a consideration is a consumer. Consideration is defined in the Indian Contract Act 1872 as when, at the desire of the promisor, the promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing, or does or abstains from doing, or promises to do or to abstain from doing something. Hence, if a person A obtains a refrigerator for his house from B, giving money as consideration, then A is a consumer. Person who uses goods and services with the approval of the buyer. Sometimes, goods or services purchased by one can be used by others. A common example of this is that goods purchased by one member of the family are used by the other members of the family. In these situations, if the person is using the goods with the approval of the person who bought it, then he is a consumer. In the case Dinesh Bhagat versus Bajaj Auto Limited. Person obtaining goods and services for resale or commercial purposes. When a person obtains goods with the object of selling them, then he is not a consumer under the definition provided in the Act. Similarly, if a person acquires goods or services for a commercial purpose and to make profit of it, then he is not a consumer. Case law in Srimati Pushpa Meena versus Shah Enterprises Rajasthan Limited. Conclusion. The word consumer has been given a wide meaning to cover various persons procuring goods and services for use. The Consumer Protection Act 2019 was constituted to give rights to consumers and protect them against malpractices of the sellers. Consumer forums and fast-track consumer courts have been instituted across the country to provide a platform for consumers to get justice. Here, in the duty of the consumers to be aware of their rights and duties and be alert and responsive towards any unfairness by sellers and uphold their integrity.